October 26th, Rory Lee Feek. Welcome to 365 Christian Men, where every day we aim to inspire and encourage with real-life stories about men. Rory Feek is an American country music singer and songwriter. He has written songs for artists such as Clay Walker, Tracy Byrd, and Blake Shelton. Rory has always been diligent about what he was called to do. But in the 4 years after the loss of his wife, Joey, Rory raised funding and built a one-room schoolhouse on his farm, produced a movie as a tribute to Joey called To Joey with Love, and he wrote 2 powerful books. He also created a television series and released a film entitled Finding Josephine. Meanwhile, Rory has returned to singing, and he has performed a series of concerts for the Music Health Alliance and the Grand Ole Opry. He accepted awards for Joey and Rory's Hymns album that won a Grammy Award for Best Roots Gospel Album, while at the same time raising his little girl, who was 2 when Joey died. Rory is all about making the hard choices.
When the hard choice presents itself, do your own job and choose love. Almost done writing his 3rd book, Rory noted that writing about this chapter in his life had been a whole lot easier than living it. The hearts of his daughters had been at stake. How he thought of himself as a Christian was at stake. The kind of man that he would be, the way he would choose to live, was at stake. At one of the toughest times in his life, he had just buried his young wife, Joey. Rory came home to the farmhouse to find his middle daughter, 27-year-old Hope, upset. Something was hurting her deeply, and she seemed afraid to tell him. He asked her what was wrong. "You won't understand," she answered through tears. "You'll judge me." "Just tell me, Hopy," Rory said again. "It's okay." And she did. Like Rory, Hope was a Christian. And now she sat at the kitchen table with him and told him that her friend Wendy was more than a friend, and had been more than a friend for a while. Hope told her dad she was gay, and Wendy and her were in love. To say the least, Rory felt surprised. A tear presented itself and ran down his face. "See, you're judging me," she said. And without even knowing, I was. She could see it on my face, see it in my eyes. Rory scrambled inside, try not to knee-jerk react. This was his daughter he loved, but he said things later he thought he should not have said. Reality was smacking hard right up against what he had always believed as a Christian, and his life united with Jesus was Rory's core. My conservative Christian faith was the first part of me to judge Hopy, he wrote. To want to push her away, to withhold love from her. And she could feel it, see it in my eyes. And in that moment, we had a conversation without any words. Her eyes were asking if he would still love her, and his eyes were answering. My eyes were hardening around the edges, just like my heart, he wrote. Probably not, they said as I looked away. More ashamed of what I was thinking than of what she had shared with me. This father and daughter, who loved each other and who belonged to Jesus, did not work through the issue that night. They went their separate ways. It took time to talk it through, for Rory to spend time with Wendy, to ask her questions, to know who she was. It took time to talk with the Lord about it, to know what to think, what to do. Rory described it. Hopy has made me rethink everything I have thought when it comes to some things. And in other ways, I'm still right where I always was. First off, I'm not the judge. That is not my job. I'm Hopy's father. My job is to love her. She gets to make her decisions in life, all of them. I can approve or disapprove, but it's her life, and she has the right to live it as she chooses. Rory wrote that this chapter in his life has been challenging. I've still got a long way to grow, but I believe that I'm getting there. And I cannot help but think, in the end, how can we lose if we choose love? In John 13:34 and 35, God tells us, love one another. As I have loved you, you must also love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. If someone you love dearly has made a life choice you do not support, have you asked God to help you work through it? When the hard choice presents itself, do your own job and choose love.
Hey men, Chuck Stecker here. Good to be with you again with 365 Christian Men. Our day today is October 26th. Our story is about Rory Feek, a country western singer, but the story goes between him and his daughter. But the story is about him. I want us to just kind of think about one thing. He loved his daughter so much. He said he wouldn't judge. He opened himself up and said, trust me, just trust me. I won't judge you. Whatever it is, you know how much I love you. And then she told him, and then he said, and here's our line to think about. Without realizing it, she could look at me and see I was judging her. So it gets us to the point that how often our words say one thing, but our eyes, our body language, our face, but even our actions may say something else. It's a real challenge, isn't it? You know, when we look at people and sincerely care, or say we do, we sincerely say, or at least say we do, we won't judge you. Maybe it's a drug addict. Maybe it's a man caught in sin. We can go through this whole thing. But you know, if we cannot believe that faced with sin, we can keep ourselves from actually judging, here's the real question. When God says, go ahead and tell me he won't judge me, can we believe him if we're not capable? Well, the real answer to that is, I think we can believe God. I think we must believe God. I think God has proven himself true, that he won't judge us because our sins have been forgiven. How difficult it is then to translate that into our own lives and say to someone else, I won't judge. And honestly, I really mean it. If you see something in me, please forgive me, because in my heart, I'm not judging. And I don't want to judge, because there is only one true judge. That's a hard thing to do. But here's what I would challenge you to think about today. Can you remember a time when someone told you something, very recently perhaps, and you said, tell me, I won't judge. But perhaps by your eyes, your face, tone of your voice, they knew it wasn't true, and you were judging them. God is with us, I believe, to help us have the mind of Christ, and in those situations, the heart to truly say, I won't judge you, I'm here to help, and really mean it.